Hello, everyone. It is Pat with our Oracle card reading and messages for this upcoming week. Today's the 15th. We're halfway through the month of September. So I'm curious to see what's going to come up for us. And today's a full moon. And so we have some full moon energy going on here. So I'll be curious to see how that kind of shows up in the readings if it does. So today I'm going to be using, once again, the Archangel Oracle cards and the Wisdom of the Oracle cards by Colette Baron Reid. And I once again pulled out the Akashic Tarot because as you know from watching my readings, I like to kind of tune into what's going on for people personally, but also like what messages it shows us for the world, what's going to be going on in the world at large. So, okay. For this week, the Archangel who's overseeing us is the Archangel Azrael with this message of counselor. And you're a natural counselor, and many people benefit from your guidance and reassurance. So it's indicative that, this card is, from the Archangels is always something that kind of heralds what the theme is going to be for the week or what's coming up for the week. So you may be someone that people are seeking out for guidance and reassurance. You may be that person that provides comfort or a different perspective to people or what have you, okay? Or just, that person that somebody needs to lean on, when they're having a rough time. All right. So, and Azrael is the archangel who helps us through times of loss, whether it be the loss of a loved one, a financial loss, a loss of a possession, a loved one, what have you. So whatever the type of loss is, he provides that comfort. And he's, I've often called upon him when I've, gone to be with friends or family who've lost someone close to them. And, you just need those right words to say, okay? Or what's the right action that would be of benefit and bring blessings to this person. So, so just know that people benefit from seeking you out. And, for some of you, it might be indicated that you need to take your work to the next level, or that you are taking your work to the next level, okay? So, all right. So for the Wisdom of the Oracle, what's going on this week? All right, so the beginning of the week, we have this card, the Observer. It's cute. It's got the dog, looking up at the sky and the moon. So, all right, so what this card is about, at least at a personal level, is taking a step back to look at things from a different perspective, whether it's in your relationships or your career or what have you. You just, it reminds me of what Eckhart Tolle, he was the one who coined that phrase of being the observer. Step back and be the observer in your meditations. Notice the repeated thoughts that are going through your mind, just notice and observe all that. Notice the thoughts and feelings that come to you, but notice them as the observer. Like, that's interesting that I feel this way about this, or that I'm thinking this way, or that I have a belief about this. So, but you may be embroiled in a situation where you need to take a step back, because you're embroiled in it, and be the observer and look at it from an outside perspective. From the world perspective, I feel like this, the hit that I got on this is that the world is watching. The world is watching us go through our process, through the drama that we are going through right now in our country of the United States. I mean, we're not the only one. Britain is definitely going through their own drama too with Brexit. But when I looked at this card, that's what I got. The world is watching. Because there's a lot of situations that are going on right now that people really aren't happy about. And so they're watching, the United States, our democracy, and how we handle that. So the next card is this one, Deep Knowing. And if you look at this card, it has the moon, the full moon, with the owl on top of it. The owl is representative of wisdom. So at a personal level, this card has to do with your deep inner knowing. All right, and maybe you're, as you take that step back and observe your own thoughts and feelings, it may have to do with the fact that you're admitting to yourself something you've deeply known for a long time, okay, either about yourself or somebody else. So it's about acknowledging that deep knowing, about acknowledging your own inner oracle, the wisdom that comes up, or just your own deep knowing about things that you see going on. in maybe your immediate family, your life, the world, okay? So, and from the world perspective, what I get is that, we are going to be getting a deeper knowledge of what's been going on, okay? Um, in our country and, with this current administration and things like that, we are going to get a deeper knowing. It's more than just intuitive. It's letting us know, especially because the moon is on it. The moon is something that shines the light on. The full moon shines the light on things. So, and last week we had a message about, clarity and stuff like that. So, things coming to light. And so that deep knowing card is really kind of, I think we're going to get proof of things that we've had a deep knowing about for a while, okay? So which leads us to the next step. The deep knowing, that intuition, leads us to the thinker, okay? The thinker is what's come out next. And the thinker is about taking the practical action steps, looking at what's there, okay, facing the music, and looking at what steps need to be taken. What are the practical, it's about analysis and things like that. So I'm sure whatever gets revealed is going to be analyzed to the nth degree, but it's also about the practical actions that are being taken or that are, you're going to take. So there's a bit of that going on. The last card that came out from this deck is this All That Glitters. And this is about, again, as I think it came out last week too. It's about looking beneath the glittery surface. Okay, now a lot of us have known for a long time that the media feeds us things, and our government and politicians and certain people feed us stuff that looks very glittery on the surface. It looks like a pretty little blanket or something like that, but underneath it there can be really nothing of substance. Or it can be covering up something that is smelly and gross and just ugly. Or as I sometimes say it, sometimes there are a lot of people who like to paint a pretty little picture of their life, okay? But all it is really is a two-dimensional canvas that's covering a big gaping eyesore of a hole in the wall that they don't want to look at and they don't want anybody else to see either. That's what this card is about. It's like looking underneath that glittery surface, looking underneath that two-dimensional canvas, okay? That's what's happening. We're seeing beneath the surface of things. And looking and finding that there's no value, there isn't value in it. It's a bill of goods that we were sold, or it's just about searching for that, looking for the authenticity or the value underneath what's been presented to you. Okay, so there's a lot of that looking underneath the glittery surface that's going on as we get into the end of the week there. Okay. So now let's take a look at the Akashic Tarot. Let's see. Okay. So the first card that came out was this King of Keys. Okay. And it's very reflective of, these cards I find to be very reflective of stuff that's going on in the world. So this has to do with the man who thinks he's the king of our country. He's acting more like a king than a president. Like he's king of everything. And he just acts in that regard. And he's, so definitely the focus is on him once again this week and what's going on. We've got the Scribe card that came out, which I think has very much to do with documents, records, and things like that being revealed, okay, or found, or delivered, or what have you, okay? As a lot of you know, if you've been following, the politics of what's been going on in our country, the United States, there's been lots of, going on about getting taxes and tax returns and having those, be called upon and subpoenaed to court and different people brought into court. And anyway, but these are about legal documents that are going to be brought forward, I think, because the Scribe is very much about writing, the record keeper, legal documents, legal affairs, things like that. So you're going to see that come up, okay? And the next card that came out was the Five of Roses, which has to do with children. Okay, this is about children playing in the garden, and as you can see, this is a very, very nicely landscaped, beautiful garden. So I do feel like this has to do with children who've been brought up in privilege. Okay, and just issues related to that. So I know there's a bit about, we're at the beginning here in the United States of the people who were caught in that college cheating admissions scandal, or college admissions cheating scandal, what have you, that are now starting to go to court to face sentencing. And these were children of privilege. They came from families that had a lot of money. And so what's going to be happening with that is going to deeply affect them. Okay. And the man who thinks he's king, his children are going to be affected by this, everything that's come up as well. Okay. So, the journey, at a personal level, this may have to do with movement, change in movement. Okay. You're going on a journey. In many ways, it has to do with movement upward, movement forward, movement into a different place, a different space. Okay, so it could be that you're moving. We had this come up too, I think, in the fairies last week. New location. So what I'm looking at in this card is that it's kind of at the sunset in the background, and the sun is setting on certain. The sun is setting on maybe a chapter or in your life, a personal chapter or maybe a career chapter or something like that, and you're moving on to something new. The sun is setting on a particular either part of your life, maybe something like that. Okay. The last card that came out was the War of the Roses. So I don't think this needs any explanation, because what happens here with this, okay, is going to cause this in the media. The War of the Roses is going to be going on. So, anyways, it has to do with drama in relationships. And anyways, and it can mean that things can be at an impasse, but I think it just more means that you're going to see the dramas playing out in the media. So, and yeah, because as things are brought up and those records and writings are brought up, it's just going to start a whole lot of sparring. So anyways, those are some of the stuff that comes up for this week. So, remember, we can call on Azrael to be the counselor. We can ask him for our own help too, if we need that comfort as well. But at a personal level, it's one where we kind of just have to take a deep breath, be the observer, trust our inner knowing, and take practical action from that, and seek out the authenticity that we're searching for. Okay? So thank you everyone for watching. I look forward to speaking with you again soon, and I hope you have a wonderful week.